Welcome to AF Tales. Today's story is about a man whose girlfriend calls him not a real man in front of her friends because he refuses chaos and chooses calm. As you listen, think about whether you see peace as boring or as something you protect. My girlfriend said, "You're not a man." I replied, "I'm not your man." Then I left the rooftop party, packed a bag, went no contact, and watched as she ran back to her chaotic ex while I quietly chose a calmer life instead of her endless drama. My name is Cole. I am a project manager in Denver. I wake up early, I meal prep on Sundays, I remember birthdays, and I do not yell during arguments. My dad raised me alone and taught me that shouting is just a way to avoid listening. 2 years ago, I started dating Harper. When we met, she had just left a mess of a relationship with a musician named Tyler. Tyler threw things during arguments, showed up drunk at her job, and turned every week into a new crisis. When she told me those stories, she said she was done with drama. She said she wanted something safe and healthy. Back then, she called my calm maturity. She told her friends that she finally had a grown man in her life. She said dating me felt stable for the first time. About 6 months ago, something shifted. The same traits she once praised started to bother her. It started small, little comments. "Tyler used to surprise me with weekend trips," she said once. "You plan everything down to the minute." Another time it was, "You never yell. It is like nothing gets to you. It is too calm. It feels cold." I brushed it off at first. Everyone looks back at old relationships with mixed feelings sometimes, but the comments kept coming. Sharper. Louder, around other people. This all led to the rooftop party, her friend's birthday, downtown bar, loud music, string lights, people taking photos for social media. Harper introduced me to someone new and laughed as she said, "This is Cole, my calm and reliable one. Do not worry, he will not throw a drink at me like my ex did." Everyone laughed. I forced a smile, but it stung. I was not a person in that moment. I was a contrast, a safety rail. Sometimes the biggest red flag is when someone talks about you like you are a prop in their story, not a partner in their life. Later, she pulled out her phone and started showing her friends photos of a luxury condo. 2 bedrooms, floor-to-ceiling windows, downtown, almost $2,900 a month. She said, "Look at this place. I am signing the lease next week and we will both be on it." Just like that, no conversation, no budget talk, no "what do you think?" Just a public announcement of a decision I had never heard of. I kept my voice calm. "Let's talk about that later," I said. To me, that was the reasonable answer. To her, it was a trigger. She rolled her eyes and turned it into a show. "See what I mean," she said to the table. "He cannot even make a decision without a spreadsheet." Then she looked straight at me and went for the deep cut. "You are not a real man. Tyler would have just said yes." The table went quiet. Her friends shifted in their seats. One of them tried to change the subject, but Harper just watched me, waiting. She wanted me to react, to raise my voice, to slam my hand on the table, to prove I cared by losing control. This is where a lot of people get trapped. They think if they stay calm, they look weak. If they explode, they prove their love. I did not give her what she wanted. I finished my drink. I stood up. I did not say a word. I just walked out. I heard her call my name behind me, but I kept walking. I drove to the apartment we shared, went inside, and started packing. I did not take everything, just the things that were mine and mattered. Clothes, my laptop, important documents, the cast iron skillet my dad left me. I put my key on the kitchen counter and wrote a note. "You were right," I wrote. "I am not the man you need. I hope you find what you are looking for." Then I left. Now I am in a cheap motel room at 2 in the morning, listening to the hum of a vending machine through the wall. My phone has not stopped buzzing. The first texts were angry. "Cute, you will come back once you cool off." "This is so dramatic, Cole." Then confused. "Where are you? This is not funny." Now they are desperate. "Please, can we just talk?" I did not mean it like that. But the truth is, she did. Maybe not every single word in that exact way, but the message behind it had been growing for months. She misses the chaos. She misses the roller of never knowing what would happen next. She misses the man who walked the edge between attention and disaster. I cannot be that man. I will not be that man. My dad taught me that love is supposed to feel like coming home, not like checking every step for landmines. So there I was, in that motel room, asking myself a hard question. Am I overreacting? Should I have stayed and fought for us? Should I have raised my voice for once to show her that I cared? Or was walking away the only move left when the way I love is something she openly disrespects? Part of me felt guilty, like I was proving her point that I avoid conflict. Another part of me knew that if I stayed after being called not a real man in public, I would be teaching her that there are no real consequences for crossing that line. 2 weeks passed. I kept the silence. Harper did not. The texts kept coming from new numbers, at all hours. Long messages about how she could not sleep, how she was drunk that night, how she did not mean it, how I was the best thing that ever happened to her. Her friend Lauren reached out and said Harper was spiraling, missing work deadlines, getting suspended from a client project. She asked if I could just text once so Harper would know I was alive. I felt bad for a few minutes. Then I remembered something my dad always said. You cannot set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. For 2 years I had been Harper's steady ground. I had absorbed every mood swing, every outburst, every comparison to her past. The first time I needed respect in return, she humiliated me in front of her friends, so I deleted the messages. I kept the silence. Around that time, a co-worker of mine, Maya, noticed I had been staying late and looking worn out. She did not ask 100 questions. She just said, "My guest room is empty if you want somewhere that is not a motel, no pressure." I said yes almost right away. I had started talking to the ice machine. That felt like enough of a sign. Maya's place is quiet. We cook simple dinners. We watch cooking shows. We talk about work and weekend plans. No big speeches, no drama, no tests. One night we were watching a chef make pasta and she said something that hit me. "Some people mistake peace for boredom," she said. "But peace is just the absence of fear." She might not have meant it as a deep statement about my life, but that is exactly what it was. That was Harper's issue. She did not know what to do with peace. While I was building a new routine, Harper turned to social media. I did not check her pages, but friends told me she was posting sad quotes about real men fighting for love, old photos of Tyler, and reels about moving into her new place alone with captions about independence. Then Maya told me Harper had found her profile and started liking old photos, not recent ones, but pictures from years ago. It felt like Harper was digging, trying to see if there was something between us already. Maya asked if she should block her. I told her she could do whatever made her comfortable, but I was not playing those games anymore. Then a mutual friend called Maya, not me. He said he saw Harper and Tyler at a bar, not just talking, all over each other. Harper had gone back to him, back to the chaos, back to the man she had cried about to me so many nights. I wish I could say I felt satisfied hearing that. Mostly I felt sad for her, and a little sad for the version of me that spent 2 years trying to show her there was another way to be loved. Maya asked if I wanted to talk about it. I said no. She nodded and changed the channel to a show about competitive baking. No pressure, no push, just respect for my boundary. Sometimes the healthiest people in your life are the ones who do not make your pain about them. Weeks passed. I found a rhythm. Work, gym, cooking, sleep that did not get interrupted by long arguments. Then Harper showed up in person. Maya and I were making dinner one night when the doorbell rang. Maya opened it and I heard Harper's voice. "Cole, please, I just want to talk." I walked to the door. Harper stood there with makeup smudged, jacket too thin for the cold. She was shaking. She launched into a long speech. Tyler was gone. Her clients had dropped her. Everyone had abandoned her. She wanted to feel safe again. She missed me. She knew now that I was the best thing that had happened to her. She said she had been scared, that she did not mean what she said. It was every sentence I would have wanted to hear 2 months earlier. Now it sounded practiced. I let her finish. "You called safe boring," I said. "Remember?" She cried harder and said she was wrong, that she did not know what she had. "No," I said. "You were honest then. Wrong came later." She asked for 5 minutes to talk inside, to explain properly, to make me understand. I looked at her and felt something strange, not anger, not joy, just a deep tiredness at the idea of going back into that cycle. "I hope you figure out what you are looking for, Harper," I said. "I really do." Then I closed the door, not a slam, just a quiet click. Maya was in the hallway. She did not ask what was said. She just squeezed my shoulder and went back to the kitchen. A neighbor texted later and said Harper sat in her car for an hour before leaving. Maybe she thought I would come out. Maybe she just needed to sit with the new reality. Here is what I realized. Silence is not cruelty. Silence is just refusing to step back into chaos. Harper needed a reaction, a fight, a big scene to hold on to. That is how she measures meaning, but I did not give her that. I chose myself instead. Months passed. I moved into my own one-bedroom place. Bad parking, great light. I got promoted at work. I started hitting the gym again. I finished a bookshelf I had half built for a year. Harper tried a few more times to reach me through other people. I stayed firm. Eventually, the attempt stopped. Mutual friends said she moved back to her hometown for a while and is in therapy. I hope that is true. I hope she really does the work. Then came an engagement party for mutual friends. I almost skipped it, but Maya reminded me that I do not have to rearrange my life for someone who is not in it anymore, so I went. Harper was there by the bar, holding a glass like it was armor. She looked better. When she saw me, something flashed across her face and she walked over. "Can we talk?" she asked. "We can talk here," I said. That threw her a bit, but she stayed. She said she had been thinking about us. About how she was scared back then. Scared that if things were too easy, they were not real. Scared that if I did not fight with her, I did not care. She said I made her feel invisible because I did not react. I did not yell. I did not chase her. She said getting back with Tyler was a mistake and that she understands now why I left. I listened. Then I said, "You were not scared of losing control, Harper. You were scared of not having it." She frowned. "You did not lose me because I was calm," I said. "You lost me because I stopped reacting. You needed my anger to feel important. When I would not give you that anymore, you did not know who you were with me." She looked like she wanted to argue, then like she realized she could not. "Do you hate me?" she asked. I thought about it. "No," I said. "I do not hate you. I just do not think about you anymore." That was the honest truth. She had gone from being the center of my stress to being one chapter in my past. Maya touched my arm, checking I was okay. I smiled at her and she smiled back, easy and calm. No performance. Harper saw that. I think for the first time she understood what she had lost. Not drama, not noise, the quiet safety of being with someone who does not treat every day like a test. She left the party soon after. No one ran after her. Life kept going around her. Here is what I learned. Lesson 1: if someone needs you to be loud, angry, or out of control to see you as a real man, they are not ready for a healthy relationship. Lesson 2: peace is not the absence of passion. It is the absence of fear. Do not let anyone shame you for being steady. Lesson 3: you cannot argue someone into respecting you. The moment they feel safe insulting your character in public, the trust is already cracked. Lesson 4: walking away quietly can be a stronger act of self-respect than staying and fighting for someone who likes the fight more than the relationship. Lesson 5: your job in a relationship is not to be someone's chaos manager. It is to show up as yourself and protect your own mental health as much as theirs. Lesson 6: you do not have to turn your life into a movie for love to be real. Boring, consistent, kind days are not a sign that something is missing. They are often a sign that something is right. What would you have done in my place? Would you have stayed and tried to prove you cared by fighting, or would you have walked out of that rooftop party too? And have you ever been in a relationship where someone treated your calm as a problem instead of a strength? I would like to hear your story.